The betrayal. The perfect day that never was. I stood at the altar adjusting my tie for the 100th time. The grand Riverside Hotel ballroom was decorated exactly how Emily wanted it. White roses everywhere, crystal chandeliers catching the afternoon light, 200 chairs filled with everyone we knew. My hands were sweating inside my gloves. Not from nervousness about marrying Emily, but from pure excitement. After 5 years together, we were finally doing this. My best man Marcus stood beside me, checking his watch. "She's probably just adding final touches to her makeup," he whispered. "You know how brides are." I nodded, smiling at my mother in the front row. She was already crying happy tears. My father sat beside her, camera ready. Emily's parents looked equally emotional. Everything was perfect. Almost too perfect. 30 minutes passed. The string quartet played the same songs twice. Guests started whispering. I could feel their eyes on me, some pitying, some curious. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out discreetly. The message from Emily made my blood run cold. "I can't do this. I'm sorry. Emily." That was it. 7 words to end 5 years. 7 words to destroy the future we'd planned. 7 words that would humiliate me in front of everyone I knew. Marcus looked at my face and grabbed my arm. "What's wrong?" I showed him the phone. His expression shifted from confusion to anger in seconds. "She wouldn't. She can't be serious." But I knew she was. Deep in my gut, I knew this was real. I looked out at 200 expectant faces. My colleagues from the architecture firm. My family who'd traveled from 3 different states. Emily's grandmother who'd flown in from Scotland. They were all waiting for a bride who wasn't coming. I walked to the microphone. My voice somehow stayed steady. "I'm sorry to inform everyone that the wedding will not be taking place today. Emily has decided not to go through with it. Thank you all for coming." The gasps and murmurs filled the room like a wave. My mother's cry of shock cut through everything else. I walked down the aisle, past all those faces, past the pity and confusion, and straight out to the parking lot. Marcus followed me. "Daniel, wait. Let me drive you home." I shook my head. I need to be alone. But he wouldn't let me. He took my car keys and drove me back to the apartment Emily and I had shared for 3 years. The apartment that was supposed to be empty today because we'd be on our honeymoon tomorrow. The empty space where she used to be. The apartment felt like a crime scene. Wedding gifts were stacked against one wall, tags still attached. "Congratulations, Daniel and Emily," the cards read. Each one was a small knife to my heart. Her closet was empty. Her makeup gone from the bathroom. The framed photos of us, gone. She'd planned this. While I was picking up my tuxedo yesterday, while I was rehearsing my vows last night, she'd been packing her things and planning her escape. I sat on the couch for hours, still wearing my tuxedo. Marcus stayed with me, not saying much. What could he say? My phone kept buzzing with messages. Concerned family. Confused friends. I turned it off. "Did you know?" I finally asked Marcus. "No. I swear I had no idea." "But you suspected something?" He hesitated. "She'd been distant lately. I thought it was wedding stress." I wanted to scream. I wanted to break something. Instead, I just sat there, feeling hollow. The next day, I turned my phone back on. Hundreds of messages. Most were supportive, asking if I needed anything. But some were different. Screenshots from social media. Photos of Emily at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. She wasn't alone. The man in the photos was Blake Morrison. I recognized him immediately. Emily's ex-boyfriend from college. The heir to the Morrison Hotel's empire. Old money, new money, and every kind of money in between. Marcus came over with coffee and groceries. I showed him the photos. "That bastard," Marcus said. "She left you for him?" I zoomed in on Emily's face in the photos. She was smiling, laughing, wearing designer clothes I'd never seen before. While I was standing at an altar looking like a fool, she was boarding a private jet with her rich ex-boyfriend. "It makes sense now," I said quietly. The last few months, she kept talking about money. About how my salary was good but not great. About how her friends were marrying men who could afford luxury vacations and designer handbags. "She used to love that you were an architect. She said you were building a better world. She loved the idea of me. But Blake can give her Paris, Milan, and Monaco. I can give her a nice apartment and a good life." Apparently that wasn't enough. Over the next week, more details emerged. Emily's sister finally called me, apologetic and angry. "I told her she was making a mistake," she said. "Blake contacted her 2 months ago. He'd inherited his grandfather's fortune and wanted her back. He promised her the world. And she said yes. She was conflicted. She loved you, Daniel. But Blake offered her something she'd always dreamed about. The lifestyle, the status, the luxury. She could have talked to me. She could have been honest. She knew you'd try to convince her to stay. She knew she might change her mind. So she just ran. After the call, I sat in my empty apartment and realized something. Emily hadn't just left me. She'd calculated the best exit strategy. Waited until the last possible moment to maximize her new relationship with Blake while keeping me as a backup plan. Then discarded me publicly when she was certain of her choice. Rising from the ashes. 3 months passed in a blur. I called in sick to work for 2 weeks. My boss, understanding and kind, told me to take all the time I needed. But sitting at home was killing me slowly. I returned to the office thinner, quieter, but determined. I threw myself into work with an intensity that surprised everyone. I volunteered for the difficult projects no one else wanted. I stayed late every night, working on designs until my eyes burned. My latest project was a sustainable housing complex for low-income families. It was challenging work, complex and underfunded, but it mattered. It meant something beyond money and status. 6 months after the wedding disaster, I presented my designs to the city council. They approved it unanimously. The local newspaper ran a story. Local architect designs innovative, affordable housing. My phone buzzed with congratulations from colleagues, old professors, and even some clients I'd worked with years ago. Marcus took me out to celebrate. You're doing it, man. You're actually doing it. Doing what? Winning. She left you for money and status. You're building something that actually matters. I'd also joined a gym. Not to impress anyone, but because I needed to feel strong again. I needed to feel in control of something. My body transformed over those months. I lost the soft edges, gained muscle definition, found a physical confidence I'd never had before. My therapist, Dr. Sarah Chun, helped me understand something important. You're not healing to get her back, she said during one session. You're healing to become who you're meant to be. There's a difference. She was right. Every day, I felt less like the humiliated groom and more like someone who'd dodged a bullet. Emily had shown me who she truly was. Someone who valued money over love, status over partnership, luxury over loyalty. Still, late at night, I sometimes wondered what she was doing. Was she happy? Did she ever think about me? Did she regret her choice? Whispers and rumors. The answers started coming through the grapevine. Amanda, a mutual friend, called me one evening. I thought you should know, she said carefully. I ran into Emily at a charity gala last week. How is she? I tried to sound casual. Honestly, she looked miserable. She was wearing a dress that probably cost more than my car, but her eyes were dead. Blake barely acknowledged her all night. He was too busy networking with other rich people. That's what she wanted, though. The glamorous life. Maybe, but I talked to her for a few minutes. She asked about you. Multiple times. She wanted to know if you were seeing anyone, how your career was going, if you ever talked about her. I felt a cold satisfaction at that. What did you tell her? The truth. That you're doing amazing. That you're working on important projects and looking better than ever. She didn't look happy to hear it. More stories trickled in over the following weeks. Emily and Blake were living in his family's penthouse. The Morrison family had old money attitudes and new money problems. They looked down on Emily's middle-class background. She wasn't good enough for their social circle despite her beauty and charm. Blake's mother apparently made snide comments about Emily's education and family. His sister openly called her a gold digger. And Blake himself had a reputation, one that Emily was learning about the hard way. He's been seen with other women. Marcus reported after talking to someone who worked at Morrison Hotels. Multiple women. Emily knows but can't do anything about it. She signed some kind of agreement when they got together. A prenuptial agreement, I assumed. Blake's family lawyers would have insisted. Emily had traded love for luxury and got trapped in a golden cage. Part of me felt vindicated. She'd made her choice and now lived with the consequences. But another part of me, the part that had loved her for 5 years, felt sad. Not sad enough to forgive her, but sad that she'd destroyed something real for something fake. The first reach out. 7 months after the wedding that never happened, my phone buzzed with a message request on social media. Emily's name appeared on the screen. My heart jumped despite everything. Hi, Daniel. I know I don't deserve to talk to you, and I know you probably hate me. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I think about you every day. I hope you're well. E. I stared at the message for 10 minutes. My finger hovered over the reply button. What would I say? That I forgave her? That I hated her? That I missed her? In the end, I deleted the message without responding. Whatever she was going through, whatever regret she felt, it wasn't my responsibility to absolve her. 2 days later, flowers arrived at my office. 24 red roses with a card. I'm so sorry for everything. Please let me explain. Emily. My assistant looked at them curiously. From an admirer? From a mistake, I said, and asked her to donate them to the hospital down the street. The call started next. Unknown numbers at odd hours. I'd answer once or twice before realizing it was Emily. Her voice, hesitant and sad, would start with, "Daniel, please don't hang up." I'd hang up immediately. She even showed up at my apartment building one Saturday morning. The doorman called me. "Sir, there's a young woman here asking for you. Says her name is Emily. Tell her I'm not home. She says she'll wait. Tell her I don't want to see her." I watched from my window as she walked away 20 minutes later, shoulders slumped, defeated. Part of me wanted to run after her. The part that remembered our good times, our inside jokes, the way she'd curl up next to me on the couch during movies. But the stronger part remembered standing at that altar, remembered the humiliation, remembered opening my phone to see her with Blake in Paris while I was supposed to be saying my vows. That night, I made a decision. If Emily wanted back into my life, she'd have to work for it. She'd have to understand what she'd done. She'd have to feel even a fraction of the pain she'd caused me. And if that made me petty or vindictive, so be it. She'd burned down my life for a man with a bigger bank account. Now she'd learn what it felt like to lose something you couldn't buy back. I texted Marcus. "Emily's trying to contact me. What should I do?" His response was immediate. "Whatever you do, make sure you're doing it for you. Not for revenge. Not to hurt her. For you." I thought about that for a long time. What did I want? Revenge? Closure? To hurt her like she hurt me? Or did I want something else entirely? The answer wouldn't come for months. But that night, lying in bed in my empty apartment, I knew one thing for certain. Emily Thompson had made her choice 7 months ago. Now I would make mine. And this time, I'd be the one in control. The game had just begun, and I'd learned something valuable from my pain. Sometimes the best revenge isn't hurting someone back. It's showing them exactly what they lost, and making sure they know they can never get it back. The return. The restaurant encounter. 8 months after Emily left me at the altar, I sat in Bellissimo, the most expensive Italian restaurant in the city. I was there for business, meeting with the Horizon Development Group about a new commercial project. They wanted to hire me to design their flagship office building downtown. It was the kind of contract that could change my career forever. My potential clients, Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, were impressed with my portfolio. "Your sustainable housing project made headlines," Mrs. Patterson said, smiling warmly. "We want that same innovative thinking for our building." I was explaining my vision for green architecture when I felt it. That strange sensation of being watched. I looked up and my breath caught in my throat. Emily had just walked through the restaurant entrance. She wore a midnight blue dress that probably cost thousands of dollars. Diamond earrings caught the light. Her hair was styled perfectly. She looked like she'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. But her eyes told a different story. They were tired, sad, empty. Even the expensive makeup couldn't hide the unhappiness underneath. She wasn't alone. Blake Morrison walked beside her, one hand possessively on her lower back. His parents followed behind, silver-haired, elegantly dressed, radiating old money arrogance. Blake's mother looked at Emily with barely concealed disapproval, the kind of look that said, "You'll never be good enough for our family." Our eyes met across the restaurant. Emily's face went pale. She stumbled slightly, and Blake grabbed her arm impatiently. "Watch where you're going," I heard him mutter. The hostess led them to a table on the opposite side of the restaurant. I forced myself to focus back on the Pattersons, but my mind was racing. This was the first time I'd seen Emily in person since the wedding day disaster. "Mr. Reed, are you all right?" Mr. Patterson asked. "Yes, sorry. I thought I saw someone I knew." I smiled professionally and continued my presentation. But I could feel Emily's eyes on me throughout dinner. Every time I glanced in her direction, she was looking at me. Blake was on his phone, ignoring her. His parents were having their own conversation, excluding Emily entirely. She sat there, beautiful and alone in a crowded restaurant, like a painting that nobody appreciated. Halfway through my dessert, Emily excused herself from her table. I watched her walk toward the restrooms. 5 minutes later, she appeared beside our table. "Daniel," she said softly, "I'm so sorry to interrupt your dinner." The Pattersons looked curious. I stood up, trying to maintain my composure. "Emily, hello. Could we talk? Just for a minute? Please." I looked at my clients. Mrs. Patterson smiled knowingly. "Go ahead. We need to discuss some details privately anyway." I had no choice. I followed Emily to a quiet corner near the bar, far enough from both our tables for privacy. Up close, she looked even more tired. The dress and jewelry were just decoration on someone who'd lost her spark. "You look good," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "Really good. Thank you. I've been trying to reach you." "I know. Daniel, I need to talk to you. Really talk. Not like this, not here. Can we meet somewhere? Coffee? Lunch? Anything?" I studied her face. Part of me wanted to say yes immediately. 5 years of love doesn't disappear overnight. But the stronger part remembered my humiliation, my pain, my mother's tears at that altar. "I don't think that's a good idea, Emily." Her eyes filled with tears. "Please. I made a terrible mistake. The worst mistake of my life. I need you to know." "Know what? That you're unhappy? That Blake isn't what you thought he'd be? That money can't buy happiness." My voice was cold, controlled. "I learned those lessons without leaving someone at the altar. I deserve that. I deserve your anger. But please, just give me one chance to explain." Blake appeared suddenly, his face dark with irritation. "Emily, what are you doing?" "Just talking to an old friend," she said quickly. Blake looked at me, recognition dawning on his face. "You're the architect. The one who," he smirked. "Emily, we're leaving. Now." "Blake, I'm just." "Now." His voice was sharp, commanding. He grabbed her arm, not gently. Emily looked at me one last time, her eyes pleading. Then she let Blake lead her away like a child being punished. I watched them return to their table, saw Blake say something harsh that made Emily flinch, saw his mother nod approvingly at his dominance. I returned to my table feeling unsettled. Mrs. Patterson leaned forward. "Was that your ex-fiancé? The one from the newspaper articles?" I'd forgotten that my wedding disaster had been covered by local media. "Yes." "She doesn't look happy," Mr. Patterson observed. "No," I agreed. "She doesn't." We finished our meeting. They offered me the contract, a $2 million project that would take 2 years to complete. I should have been celebrating. Instead, I kept thinking about Emily's pleading eyes and Blake's cruel grip on her arm. The office ambush. 3 days later, my assistant buzzed my office intercom. "Mr. Reed, there's someone in the lobby asking for you. She says it's personal and urgent. Her name is Emily Thompson." My hand tightened on my pen. "Tell her I'm in meetings all day." An hour passed. My assistant buzzed again. "Sir, she's still here. She says she'll wait as long as it takes." I looked out my office window at the city skyline. I could ignore her. I could have security escort her out. Or I could face this situation head on. 2 more hours passed. I had actual meetings, phone calls with contractors, design reviews. Every time I checked with my assistant, the answer was the same. "She's still waiting, sir." Finally, at 4:30 p.m., I gave in. "Tell her I'll meet her at Café Noir down the street in 15 minutes. Café Noir was a small coffee shop, neutral territory. When I arrived, Emily was already there, sitting at a corner table. She'd been crying. Her eyes were red despite obvious attempts to fix her makeup. I sat down across from her without ordering anything. "You have 15 minutes. Thank you for coming. I know you don't owe me anything." "I don't. So make this quick." She took a shaky breath. "I made the biggest mistake of my life when I left you. Every single day for the past 8 months, I've regretted it. I wake up regretting it. I go to sleep regretting it. It haunts me constantly. You're unhappy with Blake. I gathered that. It's not just that I'm unhappy, Daniel. It's that I destroyed something real for something fake. You love me. Actually love me. Blake loves the idea of me. I'm a possession to him, like his cars or his watches. Something pretty to show off and control. That's what you wanted, though. The lifestyle, the status, the money." Her face crumpled. "I thought I wanted those things. Blake promised me the world. Paris, Milan, private jets, designer everything. He made it sound magical. And I was stupid enough to believe that stuff mattered more than what we had. So now that the magic has worn off, you want to come back? It's not like that. Then what is it like, Emily? Because from where I'm sitting, you chose money over me, realized money doesn't buy happiness, and now you want your backup plan back. She wiped her eyes. You have every right to hate me. But it's worse than you know. Blake isn't just unromantic. He's cruel. He controls everything. What I wear, who I talk to, where I go. His family treats me like I'm trash they scraped off their expensive shoes. His mother calls me the gold digger to my face. His sister won't even speak to me. And Blake himself. She looked down at her hands. He cheats. Constantly. I've seen the photos, the texts. He doesn't even try to hide it. When I confronted him, he laughed. He said, "What did you expect? You're here for my money. I'm here for your looks. Let's not pretend this is love." I felt a flash of anger at Blake, but not sympathy for Emily. Not yet. You signed up for this life. I know. I made my bed, and now I'm lying in it. But Daniel, I'm trapped. I signed papers when we got together. A relationship agreement, Blake's lawyers called it. If I leave him within 5 years, I get nothing. No money, no support, nothing. His family made sure of that. That's not my problem. I know it's not. I'm not asking you to save me. I'm just asking you to understand why I'm so desperate. I gave up everything for a life that's destroying me piece by piece. And the worst part? The absolute worst part is knowing that I had everything with you. Real love, real partnership, real happiness. And I threw it away for designer handbags and a man who treats me like property. She was crying openly now, and people in the cafe were starting to stare. I should have felt satisfaction. This was karma. This was justice. She'd humiliated me, and now she was suffering the consequences. But watching her break down, I felt something unexpected, pity. What do you want from me, Emily? I don't know, she whispered. Maybe just to hear that you don't completely hate me. That some small part of you remembers the good times we had. That I'm not the monster I feel like. I stood up. I don't hate you, Emily. Hate requires energy I don't want to spend on you anymore. But I also can't give you whatever absolution you're looking for. You made your choice. Now you live with it. I walked toward the door, but her voice stopped me. Daniel, wait. There's something else. Something I need to tell you. I turned back. She looked terrified now, vulnerable in a way that tugged at something deep inside me. I'm pregnant. The words hit me like a physical blow. I sat back down slowly. Blake's. Yes. He doesn't know yet. Nobody knows. I found out yesterday. Her hands trembled on the table. I'm 8 weeks along. And I'm terrified, Daniel. Terrified of bringing a child into this toxic situation. Terrified of being trapped forever. Terrified of my baby growing up watching Blake treat me like garbage. You need to tell him. He'll be happy. Not because he wants a child, but because it makes the trap more permanent. His family will be thrilled, an heir to continue the Morrison legacy. They'll lock me down even tighter. Emily, I can't. I don't know what you expect me to do with this information. Nothing. I don't expect anything. I just needed someone to know. Someone who knew the real me before I became this pathetic, trapped version of myself. She stood up, gathering her designer purse. I'm sorry for bothering you. I'm sorry for everything. I'll leave you alone now. She walked out of the cafe, leaving me sitting there in shock. A baby. Emily was pregnant with Blake Morrison's child. She was truly trapped now. I sat there for another hour, drinking coffee I didn't taste, trying to process everything. Part of me wanted to walk away and never look back. She'd made her choices. She'd have to live with them. But another part of me, the part that had loved her for 5 years, the part that still remembered our good times, couldn't quite let go. Not out of love anymore, but out of basic human decency. Nobody deserved to be trapped in a situation like that, not even someone who'd hurt me badly. The conflict within. That night, Marcus came over with pizza and beer. I told him everything. The restaurant encounter, Emily waiting at my office, the cafe confession, the pregnancy. He listened without interrupting, then let out a long whistle. That's heavy, man. I know. What are you thinking? I don't know what I'm thinking. Part of me wants to help her. Part of me thinks she deserves exactly what she's getting. Marcus took a long drink of his beer. Can I be honest? Always. You still have feelings for her. Maybe not love anymore, but something. And that something is dangerous because it could make you do stupid things. Like what? Like playing hero. Like trying to save her from a situation she created. Like opening yourself up to being hurt again. He leaned forward. Daniel, she left you at the altar. In front of 200 people. She humiliated you, broke your heart, and ran off with a rich guy. Now that it's not working out, she comes crawling back with sob stories. You think she's lying? I think she's telling the truth about being unhappy. But I also think she sees you as her escape route. And I'm worried you're considering it because part of you still wants to be her hero. He was right. I knew he was right. But knowing something logically and feeling it emotionally are two different things. Over the next week, I threw myself into work again. The Horizon project was demanding, requiring long hours and intense focus. It helped distract me from thoughts of Emily. But she kept appearing in my life, like a ghost I couldn't exorcise. I'd see someone with similar hair, and my heart would jump. I'd smell her perfume on a stranger and feel a pang of something I didn't want to name. Then my private investigator called. Yes, I'd hired a private investigator. Not to spy on Emily, but to verify her claims about Blake. I needed to know if she was telling the truth or manipulating me. Mr. Reed, I have the information you requested. And Blake Morrison is exactly what your ex-fiancé described. Multiple affairs, controlling behavior, his family's treatment of her. It's all documented. I have photos, witness statements, even recordings from hotel staff who've seen him with other women. And the prenuptial agreement she mentioned? It's real. Very one-sided. If she leaves him before 5 years, she gets nothing except a small settlement of $50,000. But if she can prove infidelity or abuse, there's a clause that voids certain restrictions. Meaning if she can legally prove he's been unfaithful or abusive, she could leave with a substantial settlement. Probably several $1,000,000. Enough to start over, support herself and a child. After hanging up, I sat in my office staring at the skyline. Information was power. I now had evidence that could free Emily from her golden cage. The question was, what would I do with it? The decision point. 3 days later, Emily called me from a number I didn't recognize. Daniel, please don't hang up. I almost did. My finger hovered over the end call button, but I didn't press it. I'm listening. I need help. Not money, not a place to stay, not anything like that. I just need advice. Legal advice. You know people, you have connections. Can you recommend a lawyer who handles prenuptial agreements? Why? Because I told Blake about the baby. His reaction was, she paused, and I heard tears in her voice. He told me this was perfect timing, that now I'd never leave, that I'd be tied to him forever. Then he went out with another woman. That same night, Daniel, the night I told him I was pregnant with his child, he went out with someone else. Something cold and hard settled in my chest. Whatever Emily had done to me, nobody deserved that level of cruelty. I need to get out, she continued. I need to leave before this baby is born, before I'm too trapped to ever escape. Can you help me find a lawyer? Please. I thought about Marcus's warning, about protecting myself, about not playing hero for a woman who destroyed my life. Then I thought about a child growing up watching its mother being treated like property, about Emily trapped in a situation that would slowly kill her spirit, about the fact that I had information that could help her, and whether I was the kind of man who'd withhold that help out of spite. I'll make some calls, I heard myself say. Thank you. Thank you so much. Emily, I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do. Don't mistake my help for forgiveness. Don't think this means we're getting back together. I'm helping you escape a bad situation. That's all. I understand. I'm not expecting anything else. After we hung up, I called the best family lawyer in the city, Rachel Mendez. I'd worked with her on a project last year. She'd consulted on some zoning issues. She was sharp, tough, and didn't take garbage from anyone. Rachel, I have a situation I need your help with. I explained everything, not just Emily's current problem, but our history, the wedding disaster, all of it. I wanted her to have the full picture. So let me get this straight, Rachel said after I finished. Your ex-fiancé who left you at the altar is now trapped in a controlling relationship with a cheating rich guy. She's pregnant, and you want to help her escape? Yes. Are you crazy, Daniel? Possibly. She laughed. Well, at least you're honest. Look, I can help her. If what you're saying is true about Blake's infidelity and the prenup clause, she has a case. But I need to ask you something personal. Why are you doing this? I thought about that question. Really thought about it. Because holding on to anger is exhausting. Because helping her doesn't mean I'm weak or stupid. It means I'm choosing to be the kind of person I want to be, regardless of what she did to me. And because... I paused. Because maybe the best revenge isn't making her suffer. Maybe it's showing her that I'm still a good man despite what she did to me. That she didn't break me. She didn't turn me bitter or cruel. That's very mature of you. Or very stupid. I'm still deciding which. Rachel agreed to meet with Emily. I connected them via email, then stepped back. Whatever happened next was between Emily and her lawyer. But I knew this. I'd crossed a line. I'd chosen to help the woman who'd hurt me most. And now I had to figure out what that meant for my future, and whether I was helping her to be kind, or whether some part of me still hoped for something I couldn't name. The answer would come soon enough. But tonight, lying in bed, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. Not happiness, not closure, but peace. I was making choices based on who I wanted to be, not on spite or hurt. And maybe, just maybe, that was its own kind of revenge. The revenge of becoming someone better than the person who'd wronged you. The revenge of refusing to let pain turn you into something you're not. Emily had made her choices 8 months ago. Now I was making mine. And this time, I'd be the one in control of the ending. The revenge and redemption. Playing the long game. Over the next 3 months, something unexpected happened. Emily and I developed a strange new relationship. Not romantic, not exactly friendship, but something in between. We met regularly to discuss her legal case. Always in public places, always with clear boundaries. Rachel Mendez was building a strong case against Blake. Every meeting we had, Emily would update me on the progress. Rachel found 3 women willing to testify about Blake's affairs. She told me over coffee one Tuesday morning. Hotel staff, restaurant workers, even his own driver. Everyone's willing to talk. That's good. That strengthens your position. She studied my face across the table. Why are you doing this, Daniel? Really? I'd asked myself the same question 100 times. Because it's the right thing to do. But I don't deserve your help. I destroyed you. You didn't destroy me, Emily. You hurt me. There's a difference. I rebuilt myself, became stronger, better. If anything, you accidentally did me a favor by showing me who you really were before we got married. She flinched at that, but nodded. I deserve that. You do. But deserving or not, nobody should be trapped the way you are. Especially not with a baby on the way. Her hand unconsciously moved to her stomach. She was 14 weeks pregnant now, starting to show slightly. Blake wants to announce the pregnancy publicly next week. Big social media reveal, photo shoot, the whole thing. His PR team is planning it. How do you feel about that? Like a prisoner being paraded in front of the cameras. But I don't have a choice. Not yet. What Emily didn't know, what nobody knew except me and Rachel, was that we had a plan. A carefully calculated plan that would free Emily from Blake while teaching both of them a valuable lesson. I'd spent weeks thinking about what real revenge looked like. It wasn't about hurting Emily more than she'd hurt me. It wasn't about making her suffer. Real revenge was about showing her the exact magnitude of what she'd lost, and then walking away forever. My plan had 3 phases. Phase 1. Help Emily build a case strong enough to void the prenuptial agreement and leave Blake with a substantial settlement. This wasn't about the money for her. It was about freedom and security for her child. Phase 2. Support her through the legal process. Let her lean on me. Let her remember what it felt like to have someone genuinely care about her well-being. Let her see the man she'd abandoned, now stronger, more successful, more confident than ever. Phase 3. Once she was free, once she'd rebuilt her hope that maybe we could reconcile, walk away completely. Show her that help doesn't equal forgiveness. Show her that I'd moved on to something better. The ultimate revenge wasn't making her suffer. It was letting her go free and then choosing not to be part of her new life. Marcus thought I was crazy when I explained it to him. That's cold, man. Ice cold. She left me at an altar in front of 200 people. Cold doesn't begin to cover what she did. But you're helping her first. That's the part that confuses me. Because the help is part of the revenge. I'm showing her what she could have had. A man who helps her even when she doesn't deserve it. A man with integrity, compassion, strength. And then I'm showing her she can't have that man anymore. That ship sailed when she chose Blake's money over my love. Marcus whistled low. That's psychological warfare. That's justice. The evidence mountain. By the end of month 3, Rachel had built an airtight case. I sat in her office while she laid out folders of evidence on her massive desk. Blake Morrison has been unfaithful at least 17 times in the past 8 months, Rachel said. tapping one folder. We have photo evidence, testimony from 5 women he's been involved with, hotel records, credit card statements for jewelry he's bought these women. He's not even trying to hide it. What about the emotional abuse angle? I asked.